This vibe is kind of fun. It's kind of a fun little change of scenery. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Kinsey. Usually I do a more like professional teaching kind of setup, but lately I've been feeling the more relaxed, chatty vibe. So let me know what you think. I'm considering looking into like the podcast realm. I don't know. I feel like that'd be fun. I kind of want to talk about the grief of losing people as you grow up. So over the past year, this year, well, now a year and a half, has been the most profound growing I've ever done in my life. I've expanded so much, I've changed so much, and I have lost a lot of people along the way. Now, these losses typically aren't like big fight type of losses. Usually it's like a dwindling, you kind of lose connections or like lose that strong bond with people. But sometimes it is the big falling outs, and I've had both throughout this journey. And I kind of want to talk about what that's like, because I feel like that's not something that's touched on so much in this industry. So if you like this, please subscribe. I kind of post a lot of different things, trying to find my niche. So if it resonates with you, you should subscribe and stick around and hang out. I'd love to have you along on the journey. Other than that, let's jump into it. So outgrowing people can be painful. I mean, it can be hard, especially when you're close with people for so long. I know, like, I've had friends for 10 plus years that I've always connected really closely with that I, in the past year, haven't, been as close with. And it's hard to connect with them, or it's like you'll have a conversation with them and you're like, whoa, since when do I not enjoy talking to this person? Why does it feel weird now? Why do I feel like we're not close anymore? What the heck happened? And you feel like you just don't relate to them anymore. And it can be hard. And that can be sometimes even a test, I feel, from the universe about your growth. And are you ready to move forward? Are you ready? Because it takes sacrifices to move forward. And sometimes those sacrifices are people. Like, you'll feel drained after having a conversation with people. Like, you'll have a conversation with somebody and you'll just feel tired after. Even if it's not like a specifically profound conversation, that can be a sign that you've outgrown that person. I know for me, and I've worked at the same place for 10 years. Okay, so like the people who I've worked with for a long time are my family. You work somewhere for that long, that's a strong bond. And I love the people I work with. I'm not saying anything like that, but it's like the bond has definitely changed. I am withdrawn from everybody because I don't, I work in a bar. It's a pub, like it's a restaurant and bar, but like I don't drink. I don't do the things that they do. And like anybody who works service industry knows, like the gossip is horrible, and I don't like to do that. That's not what I resonate with anymore. So it's like I don't really resonate with a lot of my friends anymore. So I've had to, really sit with the fact that I don't align with a lot of my friends, and I'm not a part of that, and you can feel excluded and you can feel alone, and it's hard sometimes. Sometimes you don't even know how to talk to them. Sometimes it's like you'll be in the conversation and you have nothing to contribute. You have nothing to say. You have nothing to add, because it's like I'm not a part of this. If they're talking about going out at night, or they were so wasted, or oh my God, did you see what she was saying or doing? And it's like I can't talk in this conversation because I have nothing to say. Sometimes you can feel guilty, like even if you do contribute, you're like, am I being fake? Am I being a fake person? Other times you'll feel lonely, or like you'll miss the version of you that was close with them. You'll have all these memories of maybe when you did used to drink and you guys used to get drunk at the bar together and sing karaoke, or whatever you used to do with this person. You'll have those memories and you'll miss that version of you. And that's the universe kind of tugging at you, being like, okay, are you really ready? Or like, do you want to go back there? Because you can go back there. Go ahead, go back there. But it's not going to be the same even if you do go back there, because of what you've learned now. But it can be hard to outgrow people because you miss those things, but it's not going to be the same. You can miss the relationship, but understand that you've outgrown it. And that can be hard. When you start healing, you start to see things from a new perspective. So like for me, when I started healing, I would watch how everybody interacted from a new perspective, not from a better than you perspective, but you understand at a conscious level why people do the things that they do. Why do people treat people certain ways? Because of wounds that they have. Why do people gossip? Because of wounds that they have. Because they're insecure, because of this. And like when you see things from a new perspective, it's hard to jump in and do those things because you know already why they're doing it. And then it's like, okay, well, I want to help them, but people who aren't on their healing journey typically don't want to hear it, right? So you're not at the same level as them anymore, and that's why outgrowing these people can be so hard. You don't connect with them anymore. You're not at this level anymore. You're at this level anymore, but they're not there. They're not growing. They don't want to. They haven't, and it's not like you're better than them. It's just like you're on a healing journey, and that's not the journey in life that they're on. You know, looking into that mirror and seeing your trauma and your pain, that's not a journey for everybody. Not everybody wants to do that. That's something that a limited amount of people in this world do. I think it's important, and I think everybody should do it, but does everybody do it? No, absolutely not. Odds are, like, you're the one in your group of original friends, you're the one that's going to go do it, and they're probably not. Should you, I mean, if you want to encourage them to do it, by all means you should. You have something to share, go ahead and do it. But does that mean that they're going to do it? Probably not. Growth creates distance, and that creates discomfort. So, you know, when you're losing these people, it's going to be uncomfortable. And like I said, it doesn't have to mean a big falling out. It doesn't have to mean that, you know, you get into a big fight. It just means that you don't have that connection or bond anymore. It's just a little bit different now. You have to give yourself permission to grow. You tell yourself it's okay that I don't connect with people who used to feel like home to me. Now they don't, and that's okay. You don't stay in the same home forever. That's like going to your childhood bedroom and still feeling like you belong there. The old little kid, you felt like they belonged there, but you don't. You're not going to go play with your toys, right? It's okay to outgrow these people. It's okay to not belong to them anymore. You can still, you know, talk to them on a surface level and get along with them and check in and see how they're doing. But that doesn't mean that you have to be best friends with them forever. You can let them go, and it's okay. You can love someone and still walk away from the version of that relationship that's not serving you anymore. You're not wrong for outgrowing people. You're not wrong for walking away when you're shrinking to fit into these conversations. You've grown. You're not there anymore. Don't force yourself into a box that you don't fit in. You shouldn't have to hide parts of you to fit into a conversation. If that's happening, then you're in the wrong group of people. Go where you're accepted and where people want you to thrive, where you can speak what you're thinking and feeling, and it's okay. Not where you're getting looked at like, what the heck are you talking about? You know, the group of friends that I used to have, yeah, I can still talk to them and goof around and chit chat at work, but like, I can't talk to them about spirituality because they're not on this level. They don't understand. They don't study this stuff. They don't care. And that's okay. This is my walk of life, and it's not theirs. That's totally fine. That doesn't make either of us better than the other. It just means that we're not on the same page anymore. Now, on other aspects, sometimes there are big falling outs. Sometimes you have to understand there will be arguments, and that's the universe protecting you. For example, I started really diving into my purpose in life, and I sat with the universe, as I sometimes do, and I asked the universe to remove anyone from my life that was holding me back, because I could feel in my heart like chains holding me from really thriving in my purpose. This is like maybe a week before I posted my first video on YouTube. And I asked the universe to, remove anyone from my life who's holding me back from living in my purpose. And my mom and I have always had a toxic relationship. It's been sometimes we're best friends in the whole world, and sometimes she'll send me a novel on why I'm the worst person she's ever met. And she'll say some really, really, really messed up things to me that I'm not going to post on the internet, but really bad. What I will say is I've learned that I've been trying to hold her together, and I had to let go of that and learn that I can't hold her together. She needs to hold herself together. I learned that as a kid, I felt it was my responsibility to hold her together, and I had to let that go. So I did. And then one day she I don't even know if it was one day, but she kind of just like decided she was done with me and she was never going to talk to me again because I laid some boundaries down nicely, and she wasn't abiding by them. And I was like, no, these are my boundaries. You're not going to cross them. And she decided she wasn't going to talk to me anymore. And we haven't. This has been months later. She's no longer in my life. I don't talk to her. I don't see her. We don't text. We don't check in. Like, she lives her life and I live mine. And it sucks because, you know, that's my kid's grandma and I wish she could be there for them. And I've never kept her from them. You know, I wanted her to at least see them, but I can't force her to do that. And so, unfortunately, they also lost in the situation. But did they really lose? Because if there's somebody who's at low energy, they're just bringing you down, right? And so when she stopped coming around, stopped talking to me, stopped pulling me down, stopped making me feel bad, all of a sudden, I started blossoming. I lived in my purpose. I started getting all these ideas for videos. I started getting all these ideas for making an online course, something I've always wanted to do since I had my spiritual awakening in the last year that I've been afraid to do. Like, all of these things. And it's hard because that's my mother. You know, I don't want to not have my mom. And all kinds of things happen where I want my mom. But I can't just have that in my life. I need to put me first. I need to thrive. I need to grow. And I couldn't grow with her doing the things she was doing and her constantly insulting me and belittling me and making me feel bad and making me feel inadequate. And I don't want her teaching my kids those things, you know? That was a big thing too, is I was seeing her do things and say things to my kids that affected me as a kid that I could see from my healing point of view now that I had to put an end to. But anyway, this isn't about my mom. This is just an example of, like, that was really hard and I had to grieve that. I had to grieve losing my mom. Even though she didn't pass away, she didn't die, but I still had to grieve losing my mom. And that was hard. And I'm sure it was hard for her because, you know, she had 2 kids and one of them passed away and now one she doesn't talk to anymore. But I know it's when I asked the universe to remove anybody, that happened immediately after. And I know that was for a divine purpose. You just have to trust that the universe is putting you somewhere for a reason, doing what it's doing for a reason. If people are falling off, it's for a reason. It's for your highest good. Don't go chasing them. If somebody exits your life, do not chase them. Let them go. It is for your highest good. The universe will never remove anyone from your life that is meant to stay there. If somebody's meant to be in your life, they will be there. You will never have to chase anybody. Do not chase anybody to stay in your life, please. Do not ever chase anybody who's leaving your life. If they're leaving your life, let them go. The universe will never take anyone or anything from you that's meant for you. I promise you. And just remember, every time you lose someone who's more aligned with you will step into their place. Just wait for the divine timing and trust that it's going to happen. It happens, I promise you. I hope this resonated with you. If it did, please subscribe. I would love to have you on this journey. Other than that, I will see you in the next one. Bye.